hope you're having a nice day. I'm here today to show you how to stitch a yoke into a blouse, so the back yoke that comes down to the front. And I'm using our Alex blouse, which was one of the patterns from my new book, My Capsule Wardrobe City Break. But if you're watching this and you're not making the Alex blouse, it will also be useful to you because it's a kind of general technique that's used across the board. So I've got my back shirt blouse piece here, and then I've got my 2 yoke pieces. So I'm going to start with one, but I've got both of them here. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to attach the yoke at the back to the back blouse. So I'm going to place that first, right sides together, lining up the notches and lining up the raw edges. And then I'm going to place the next yoke piece over that. So this one will be right side to wrong side. Now, if you want to do this in 2 stages, you can do that in 2 stages. You can stitch that first one. Just make sure that you stitch it with a less seam allowance, so a seam allowance of say 1.3 or something, or a centimetre, so that you know that you're not going to get 2 rows of stitching peeking out. So let's place that. You just have to be really careful that you're not moving anything when you do it with all 3 layers. Okay. And now I'm just going to pop some pins in to hold that all together. Should have pointed out that at this stage, if you are making the Alex blouse, you should have put your little pleat in at the back as well. That's where we're at with this. Okay, a random yellow pin. The OCD in me can't have that. I'm going to have it all purple. Okay, so now we're going to stitch that with our seam allowance of 1.5 centimetres, going through all the layers. Okay guys, so there it is stitched, so front and back. So that's the easy stage. Now we've got to join it at the front with the front blouse pieces. Okay guys, so I've got that in position, and I'm going to take one of my front shirt pieces and I'm going to line it up with one layer, so one of the yoke pieces at the shoulder seams, and this is going right sides to right sides, and you can see that I'm working with the right side of the blouse as well. So this is the outside of the blouse, so we're going to line those up and line up our notch as well. So got a notch there to help you with that lining. So again, if you guys aren't using this pattern and you're just watching this video to see how you do a yoke, you'd be just joining at this shoulder seam here. It's actually sitting front of the shoulder, but I'll call it that. So that's one done. Then I'll do my other one. So I'm now going to sew that with a 1 centimetre seam allowance. I'm sewing this with 1 centimetre because when we go to attach the next one, we'll be sewing that with the real seam allowance of 1.5 centimetres, and I don't want this stitching to be showing through when it's finished. So stick to a smaller seam allowance for this stage. Okay guys, this is the tricky bit. I'm going to try and break it down to a few steps so you can understand. So we're going to start, this is now stitched on, but I'm going to start and I'm going to turn this like that. And then this one also gets twisted. So this is my unattached yoke, and this will get twisted round. So this is going to get twisted round so that it's sandwiching the front blouse, and it will be going right sides together with the other yoke piece, but it's going to be right side to wrong side to the blouse, so to the front blouse. And then we're going to pin that over, so sandwiching that front blouse piece, but so that the 2 yoke pieces are right sides together. And we've got the notches to line up, so use those. Okay, I'm going to do that again on the other one so you get another chance of seeing that. Okay guys, and the other one. So pulling that round and placing it with this. notches. Okay guys, so it looks very awkward, but we need to stitch it like that now. So let's keep that out. So we're gonna, as long as you can pull it sort of through the neckline, it will fit. So we're gonna stitch that now with a 1.5 cm seam allowance. Okay guys, this looks really wrong, but don't panic. We just need to pull it through. So when you pull it through, you should get it like that. Okay? Now the tricky thing is when we're doing that, it's really important when you're doing the turning and the twisting, what you've got to be careful is that you are aligning the right point, so you haven't double twisted something. So make sure that when you're placing things right sides together, that you're aligning it at the neckline, so the right neckline pieces are going together, and then the shoulder edges and sort of the armhole edges are going together as well. And that way you shouldn't go wrong. So now we can do a nice bit of pressing. So what I'm going to do is pull the bottom of the blouse and the yoke in separate directions so that we can get a nice crisp finish there and there will be no overhang, and then I'm going to do the same on the front. Okay, and there it is nicely pressed, so you can see those seams look much neater now, and that's how you put a yoke in.